Hey guys, welcome back to Chandler Burton Entertainment. So in this video, this is actually going to be a compilation of the 3 videos that I already made. It's going to be of my movie collection. So I made them in 3 parts, part 1, part 2, and part 3. And they're each over like 20 minutes long. So I figured it'd be easier just to put them like separate videos, so that way people can just watch it separately because they're so long. But I actually have gotten a few requests from a couple of my friends saying you should just put it all together in one. I'll watch the whole thing. So I was like, you know what? Why not? I'll go ahead and do that here. So I'm going to put all of the videos together. And so if you want to watch it all the way through, you definitely can. I'm going to try to edit it to make sure it flows a little bit better. But yeah, if you want to watch them separately, they're going to be on my channel. Or if you want to watch it all together, you can watch this video. And hopefully you guys will enjoy. Again, if you like what you see, feel free to hit the subscribe button and the like button. But again, this is going to be my entire movie collection in one video. I hope you guys enjoy, and take care. Hey, what's up guys? Welcome back to Chandler Burton Entertainment. I'm starting on my phone here today because I want to show you part of my movie collection. What I mean by that is I was going to show you every single movie that I have in one sitting. But there's actually so many movies that I figured the video would just be too long and people would just kind of lose interest if it's too long of a video. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to do a 3-part video mini-series, I guess you could say, of me showing off my movies. I don't have my movies in alphabetical order or anything like that. I just have them set up by category, and I have them labeled here in my drawer. And so I'm going to show you the first batch of movies we're going to be looking at here, and then I'll try to upload throughout the week, kind of showing off my movie collection, because movies are a big part of my life. It's something that I want to do for my career. So let me go ahead and show you what we're going to kind of be looking at today, and we will go from there. So as you can see here, this is I'm actually uploading a video right now to a reaction, my dirty desk. So as you can see, there are a ton of movies, like tons. There's some up here, some right here, and then there's a ton down here. So one of the reasons why is that I got to get everything organized. That's like another thing that I have to do as well. So what I mean is I have 3 drawers full of movies, like to the brim, just full of movies. And so they're all labeled and where I put the movies. So for example, we're going to be looking at these movies today. It's my Star Wars, Marvel Cinematic Universe. I have others in there, kind of I just didn't know where to put them. I got the DCEU movies, and then I got just regular DC movies. So we're going to be looking at that here. Those are the other 3 categories. We'll show them the others on the other videos. Sorry, but we're going to be starting with this section right here. We're going to look at all these movies inside of this drawer. So let's go ahead and get into it. Alright, so I was able to get out all the movies from my first drawer, and so I'm going to show you all the movies that were in there, and then what I'll do is I'll kind of break them up, because there's so many movies. I just want to try to make this as organized as I possibly can. And so so I kind of collect movies in a weird way. So again, I don't alphabetize them. I kind of just put them in categories. Like for example, I have all the Christopher Nolan's movies in one area. I got the DC Extended Universe one area, Marvel, Star Wars. Then I have a category in here. Like I don't know where to put it, so I just put it in the other category, just because it's easy for me to find if I want to watch a movie. And so there's a ton of movies here. We're going to go through each stack one at a time. I'll cut the video and then we'll go through that, and this will be part 1 of a 3-part video series that I'll be making on my movies. So super excited to get that started off, and let's go ahead and get it going. Alright, so we're going to start just simply with the Marvel Cinematic Universe movies. I actually just put out a video today of reacting to the Phase 4 movies, so if you want to watch that, that is on Chandler Burton Entertainment. It's under my playlists, and it's on the channel. It's like the most recent video I uploaded. So definitely check that out if you want to, but we're just going to go in categories here. So we'll start with the Marvel Cinematic Universe, and we'll go through these pretty quick, because I know most people have probably seen most of these movies, and I know all of them pretty much are on Disney Plus except Spider-Man, which I know they're working on a deal for. But I like having physical copies. It's just fun to collect. I just got to find more room to put all my movies. So we'll go and get started here. So Iron Man, The Incredible Hulk, Iron Man 2, probably one of my least favorite in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Definitely near the bottom for me. Thor, also another movie, I'm kind of near the bottom. Not a huge fan of this movie, but I still collect them all because I'm a purist in some ways. Captain America: The First Avenger. I like all the Captain America movies, and I'm excited they're doing the fourth one with Anthony Mackie, and I'm super excited about that. If you haven't watched Falcon Winter Soldier, great show. The original Avengers, the first one, still a classic in my opinion. I know Joss Whedon has been in the limelight lately with Justice League and stuff, but he did do a good job in this movie, and I still really enjoy this movie quite a bit. Iron Man 3, I've liked that movie more and more every time I watch it. Thor: The Dark World, still one of my least favorite Marvel movies. I actually like it better than the first one, but it's still kind of near the bottom for me. Captain America: The Winter Soldier, one of my favorite standalone Marvel Cinematic Universe movies. A super fun spy thriller, and we also get introduced to the Falcon in this movie, so really good film. Guardians of the Galaxy, without question, probably my favorite standalone Marvel movie. Knew nothing about these characters, and I came out loving this movie, and I could pop this in at any time and love it. It's seriously one of the best superhero movies ever. I absolutely love this movie. Avengers: Age of Ultron, definitely my least favorite of the Marvel Cinematic Universe, like Avengers movies, but still a pretty decent film. Ultron's funny, and you know, it's a decent film. It's not bad by any means. It's just my least favorite of the 4 Avengers movies. Ant-Man, a definitely hidden surprise. I love this movie. Captain America: Civil War, one of the best blockbusters I've seen in theaters. Super, super fun. I think everybody's seen this movie. We get introduced to Spider-Man and Black Panther, so you can't go wrong there. Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2. I actually really liked this movie a lot. A lot of people weren't a big fan of it, but you know what? I liked it. It was hilarious. I prefer the first one, but the second one's still good. Doctor Strange. Spider-Man: Homecoming. I got the big old, like, a bunch of stuff you can collect. It looks like a notebook. It's pretty cool. They do that at Target sometimes. I always like to pick those up. Thor: Ragnarok, the best, one of my favorite Marvel movies, and it's the third one in a franchise, and Thor: Ragnarok is super sick. It's also it's got like an exclusive like art styles and those types of things, so nothing really that special. It's just kind of cool to pick up. So that is Thor: Ragnarok. If I can get this case back on. There. Black Panther. Avengers: Infinity War. Ant-Man and the Wasp. I love the Ant-Man movies. I cannot wait until the next one. Super excited about that. Captain Marvel. Don't hate this movie, but it's definitely not my favorite. And then we have Avengers Endgame. Of course, the best Avengers of them all. And of course, I left it in my drawer by accident. Can't forget this one. Spider-Man: Far From Home. Super great, almost said game. Super great movie, great way to close out Phase 3, and great movie. So again, that was my Marvel Cinematic Universe collection, so I got a couple more stacks I'm going to show you, and then we'll continue from there. Alright, so now we're going to do the Star Wars movies. I love Star Wars. Star Wars is my favorite franchise of all time. I have very harsh opinions on the sequel trilogy. Definitely not my favorite thing ever. But again, I'm such a purist and I'm such a hypocrite because I don't like any of the newer movies, but I still buy them because I love Star Wars in general. So we'll go ahead and just go through those, and then we'll go on to the next list here. And again, we'll go through these pretty quick because, I mean, it's Star Wars. Everybody has seen, most people have seen Star Wars. So I kind of have them in order. So I'll kind of show you what I mean here. So we're going to start with the prequel trilogy. So again, this is The Phantom Menace, Attack the Clones, and Revenge of the Sith. These are, unfortunately, not my favorite movies. I actually do prefer this trilogy over the sequel trilogy. Phantom Menace is not terrible in my opinion. Attack the Clones is bad, and Revenge of the Sith is really good. So I love just having physical copies of this, especially Star Wars. So had to buy those. So this is the prequel trilogy. Got all 3 on Blu-ray. I figured just save some space and just get them all just in one spot. Makes it easier for me to fit my movies. Alright, so technically next in the Star Wars timeline with the movies, next would actually be Han Solo. Solo: A Star Wars Story. This movie went through so many problems, and it finally came out. And honestly, I don't hate this movie. I think it's actually a really fun action-adventure movie. You get to see the Kessel Run. You get to see Han Solo kind of an adventure when he was younger. I don't know. I really like this movie. Like, it didn't do very well at the box office, and also on Rotten Tomatoes didn't do very good. But to me, I thought it was a fun Star Wars movie. If it never got made, I would not ask for a Han Solo movie, but I never get to make that choice. So since it did come out, and we do have it, I will say I do enjoy Solo, a Star Wars story. The next in the timeline would be Rogue One, a Star Wars story, and I absolutely love Rogue One. Rogue One is up there for me with, like, one of the better Star Wars movies. I mean, just that scene alone with Darth Vader was so good. This is like for a movie, like for a big Star Wars fan. If you're like jumping into this movie saying like, I'll just watch it cold, you're gonna have no idea what's going on. But for everybody who's seen, especially A New Hope, you're really, I think, gonna like this movie. I love this movie. You actually get a war in Star Wars. It's actually really cool to see. Super awesome. Just great movie. Okay, then after those would be the original trilogy, which is going to be A New Hope, The Empire Strikes Back, and Return of the Jedi. All three of these movies are great. Empire Strikes Back, of course, for most people takes the cake. Empire is actually one of the movies that inspired me to want to make film. Like this movie, like The Empire Strikes Back, The Dark Knight, like movies like that inspired me to go like, man, it'd be so cool to like make movies one day. And Empire did that for me, and I love Empire Strikes Back. Again, it's just the all three are in one. Really nice. And this is unfortunately the one with, with all the weird edits George Lucas did. It's not the original. I did hear that they are going to release like the original 1977 on Blu-ray with no those weird add-on, like the special edition stuff. If that happens, I will happily drop this and get the new ones, because that would be great. Okay, so now we're getting to the sequel trilogy. So we got Star Wars The Force Awakens. This is without question the best one out of the three new films. It set up some really cool stuff to hopefully continue on. And of course, we got screwed over by The Last Jedi. Now, I do not like this movie, but again, I am such a purist. I'm just... Star Wars and I have a hate love. Like, it's like a bad relationship where it's like, it treats me bad, but I still keep coming back for more. The Last Jedi is without question my least favorite Star Wars film. It has some cool scenes in it. Like, all the stuff looks pretty cool. Like, it really does. Like, it's really awesome. But it just makes so many weird choices and so many bad... the movie's just bad. I'm sorry for those who like it. I don't judge people who do. Some people say it's their favorite. You know what? I'm still going to like you as a friend. It's just not my preferred movie. And then the last one, of course, we got The Rise of Skywalker. This movie was more of a disappointment than it was just like... It wasn't terrible, but it was just so disappointing. The way it ended, like all the problems the movie had, and changing directors last second. Like, it was just such a misfire of a film, man. It really was disappointing. But again, I have to own it because it's Star Wars. Alright, so that was my Star Wars collection. We'll go on to the next list. Alright, so for this list here, I'm going to kind of combine a couple, because I want to show off my DC movies, and then I have the Christopher Nolan movies, then I have some Marvel movies that aren't in the extended universe, and they're really short. So I'm just going to show these all off at once, and kind of make this just kind of one part here. So these are the Marvel movies that aren't associated with the Marvel Cinematic Universe. So we have Venom. We have Deadpool, which apparently is going to the Marvel Cinematic Universe, so I'm really excited about that. That should be really cool. And they did say that it's going to stay rated R, which I think is really, really good. And then we have Deadpool 2, which is a great film, super funny. Then we have Logan. I'm not a big X-Men fan, but I do know the story of Wolverine, and this is one of the best. It's so violent, so gory. Man, that's a cool cover, too. I didn't realize how cool. It's like gold and... Oh yeah, it's really, really good, man. This movie's great. Super good movie. Okay, so I'm going to show off my DC movies. I'm going to combine them with the Christopher Nolan movies here as well. So we have The Joker with Joaquin Phoenix. I think this movie's a masterpiece. I know it only got like a 69 on Rotten Tomatoes, but man, I just love the way they told this story and the way that it worked. I just thought it was great. I think this movie's like a 10 out of 10 for me. I really enjoyed this film. Then we have the original Batman movies. So we have Batman Batman Returns with both Michael Keaton, Batman Forever with Val Kilmer, and then we have Batman and Robin with George Clooney and Arnold Schwarzenegger. These movies, well, actually, these two movies are great. Batman and then Batman Returns are really good, but these two are so bad. But my friend bought them for me, and honestly, they're such guilty pleasures. I just can't help but pop them in sometimes and laugh. And they're just, I love Batman, so it just cracks me up. Okay, so now we have also the Dark Knight trilogy. This is Batman Begins, The Dark Knight, and The Dark Knight Rises. Probably my favorite trilogy of all time. Like, all three of the movies are great. Like, I think they're all perfect, especially The Dark Knight. Just a super, super good. All three of them are great. Batman Begins was great. It had some problems with the action. The Dark Knight was wonderful. And The Dark Knight Rises, man, I know, had a lot of plot holes in it. But, man, this is a great film. All three of them are just super great. Super, super awesome. And I did that one first because I tied that into the Marvel Cinematic Universe, but not the Marvel, I'm sorry. It was a part of the DC collection. Now I'm going to show you my Christopher Nolan movies, because Christopher Nolan directed those as well, and then we'll go on to the next list. So we have, this is all Christopher Nolan movies, by the way, and I just did a podcast on that. It's on my channel, if you want to listen to my ranking of them. So we have Following, Christopher Nolan's first movie. We have Memento, great film. I love this movie. Insomnia, really underrated movie. Robin Williams did a good job in this movie. Rest in peace, brother. We got The Prestige, Inception, Interstellar, Dunkirk, and Tenet, which just came out a little while ago. So it actually just dropped on HBO Max. So if you are kind of unsure about watching it, you can watch it on HBO Max now to kind of get your feel on it. Personally, again, the more I've watched Tenet, the more I've really enjoyed it. And after watching it, it makes a lot more sense. So definitely give Tenet a shot. It's definitely a really good film. Okay, so we got a few more, and then we'll go from there. Do you see why I want to break this video into 3 parts? Because let me tell you, there's a lot of movies to go over. Okay, so now we're going to do the DC Extended Universe. This is like, well, I won't tell you about it. I will just show you them. Okay, so to start things off here, we have Man of Steel. I really enjoy Man of Steel. I know a lot of people don't like this movie, but for me, it's definitely probably my favorite Superman movie. I know the old school one with Christopher Reeves. Some of them, the first and second one, are pretty good. Super awesome, but I do like Man of Steel quite a bit. Batman v Superman, Dawn of Justice, the Ultimate Edition. I do like the Ultimate Edition of this movie. The movie does have problems, but you know what? I don't hate this movie like everyone else does. I thought it was pretty enjoyable, mainly because I love these 3 right here. They're my favorite superheroes. So Batman's my favorite, but I do like these 2 as well. So I'm a little biased. Alright, Suicide Squad Extended Edition. I do not like this movie, but again, just like with Star Wars, very purist when it comes to this kind of stuff, so the extended edition didn't really help, but there is rumors of an air cut of this film, like a 3-hour cut. I would love to see that. I'm sure it actually is probably pretty good, just like what happened with Justice League. The first Wonder Woman, what can I say? Great superhero movie, way better than anyone thought it was going to be. Yeah, man, this movie is great. I'm sure everybody saw it. I know everybody saw it because it made a ton of money at the box office, so really good film. Alright, so this is the Jocelyn, whatever people call it, the Justice League. This is the one that went out in theaters. This movie's not very good compared to the Zack Snyder cut on HBO Max. Watch the HBO Max Zack Snyder cut. Night and day difference. That movie is so much better. I did hear they're going to release it. If they do release it, I will film myself throwing this in the river. Because I don't want to watch that anymore. I want to watch the Zack Snyder one. So, Justice League, the crappy version. Aquaman, the more I watch it, the more I enjoy it. It's such a guilty pleasure film. Gosh, it makes me laugh. I love it. Shazam, probably my favorite DC Extended Universe. I don't really know much about this guy, but I really enjoy this movie. Cannot wait for Fury of the Gods. It comes out in 2023, I think. Alright, Birds of Prey and the Fantabulous Emancipation of One Harley Quinn. I just call it Birds of Prey. Definitely the Deadpool of the DC Extended Universe. It's okay. The more I've watched it, the more I've kind of enjoyed it. I like Ian McGregor as Black Mask because I like Black Mask the villain, and of course Harley Quinn was the best part of Suicide Squad. So that's probably what like, yeah, we'll make a movie about her. The more I've watched it, the more I liked it, and the action in this movie is actually really cool too. It's really good. Oh, I almost dropped that. Alright, and then of course, Wonder Woman 1984. This is one of my least favorite movies of 2020, but again, judge me all you want, I'm such a purist when it comes to this crap, I had to get it, so Wonder Woman 1984. Not a good movie, but again, I had to get it. Alright, so we got one more stack, and then we'll end this video. Thank you all for sticking with me. Alright, so again, this is going to be my last stack out of my first drawer of movies. Again, there are a lot more movies to come, so keep an eye out for part 2 and for part 3. So this is my others category. This is where it's like, I don't really know where to put these exactly, and so I just call them my others category. So we'll go ahead and get started with that. So we have The Martian, A Star is Born, the newer one with Lady Gaga and Bradley Cooper, the most recent one. 1917, one of the most technically impressive movies I've ever seen. All one shot. It only cuts like one time in the film. It's insane. It's crazy. Just Mercy, really emotional story. Michael B. Jordan, Jamie Foxx, even Brie Larson, all of them did a really good job. Super powerful stuff. It will definitely make you cry. It really will. So, if you're in the mood to cry, check it out. But overall, it's a really good film. Actually, the same guy who did this movie is directing the Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Seven Rings movie, which is actually such a different type of movie, but I'm excited to see what he'll bring to the table. Alright, then we have Queen and Slim with Daniel Kaluuya. Really interesting film, a little dark for some people, but it is a very good film. It didn't do very well at the box office. It was a very small release. Boys in the Hood, my friend Kyle gave this to me because he was moving. He's like, I gotta get rid of some of my movies. Like, I'll take it. I'll take any movie you have. So, Boys in the Hood. Oh, it cracks me up. The Shape of Water, I got it on sale because it won Best Picture, and it was like $10. It was okay. I think Get Out should have won because Get Out's like one of my favorite movies. Because maybe I'm a little biased. But Shape of Water, it's not too bad. Some people either love this movie or hate this movie. I'm kind of in the middle. I guess more towards the hate. It wasn't my favorite thing ever. Straight Outta Compton, wonderful film about NWA. Such a good job of telling the story. A little bit's a little Hollywoodized, as I call it, but overall, great performances, great music, great film. Really good film, actually. Okay. Creed, the first one. I got a Michael B. Jordan kick going on here. Great movie. If you're a Rocky fan, you're gonna love this movie. This movie is great. Super good film. Creed 2. Creed 2 is actually really good. Like I like them both about the same. Creed 2 had some really good moments in it. The fighting was great. It was so good. The movie was fantastic. And Creed 3, I'm sure, is going to be fantastic as well whenever it comes out. And Michael B. Jordan's directing that, so that's pretty exciting. So we got The Rundown with The Rock. It's like one of his first, if not his first movie he ever did, and the movie's so fun. It's just one of those classic movies that I have to have. I saw it with my mom back in like 2003. I was like, I love this movie. I'm gonna have this movie in my collection. So The Rundown. If you haven't seen it, really fun movie. So we have The Disaster Artist. This is one of my favorite movies of all time. It talks about like the creating of the movie called The Room, which is super iconic, one of the worst bad movies of all time, but it's still a lot of fun to watch. But this movie does a good job of showing how Tommy Wiseau, is that his name? He's very dedicated to his work. James Franco does such an amazing job. This movie is great. It's super underrated. A lot of people haven't seen it. Definitely watch The Disaster Artist. Even if you're not a fan of The Room, it's kind of cool to see how this all came to be. So definitely watch this movie. Well, if you want, of course. Whiplash. This movie is awesome, especially if you're a music guy. It's so intense. It's so J.K. Simmons really has one of the best performances ever, and he's super intense. He's so intense, in fact, that it's actually hilarious. But you don't laugh because it's cheesy. You laugh because you're just like, if I was in that situation, I would be crying. I would be going home saying my life sucks. It's terrible. But yeah, this movie is great. Super good movie. I love this movie. Ford v Ferrari. I did not go into this movie with high expectations, but I left going like saying, man, this is actually a really good film. I don't know anything about cars. I do not know. The only thing I know how to do is check the dipstick on my car. Other than that, I don't know anything else about cars. But man, this movie was good. Super good movie. It's 2.5 hours from the same guy who made Logan, actually. And it just zooms by. Get what I did? Zooms by. But this movie rocks. This was a super, super well done film. Matt Damon gives a wonderful performance, and Christian Bale is great as well. The Black Klansman. This is the first movie with John D. Washington, who also was in Tenet. He has a wonderful performance in this movie based on a true story. It's actually a lot of fun to watch. A little bit racist if you're not into that kind of stuff, but this kind of stuff did happen. So it is based on a true story. So a really good watch, really entertaining, The Black Klansman. Lone Survivor. And some of these I'm just going through because people have already seen them. The Upside. 12 Years a Slave. Makes me cry every time. Saturday's Warrior is a Mormon LDS movie. I'm LDS, Church of Jesus Christ Latter-day Saints, so yeah, this is a Mormon movie. And the last one, and this list at least, American Sniper. So that was part 1 of 3 of all the movies that I have. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. I'm going to have the other videos uploaded hopefully throughout this week, maybe the next one on Wednesday and the next one on Friday, so I can upload other stuff in between while doing that. But if you do like what you see, let me know down below what your favorite movie is, not just in these piles, but what's your favorite movie of all time. Just let me know. And again, keep an eye out for probably Wednesday and Friday for the next couple of releases. Again, this has been Chandler Burton Entertainment. I hope you all take care until next time. Hey guys, welcome back to Chandler Burton Entertainment. So again, this is going to be part 2 of 3 videos that I'm making showing off all my movies. On Monday, we looked at all these movies right here, so the little movies that we went through. And today, we're going to be going through these movies right here. So we have horror, thriller, action, and comedy. So we're going to go over those movies here today. If you like what you see, feel free to hit the subscribe button. That does go a long way. But without further ado, let's go ahead and get started. Alright, so we're going to go ahead and get started with the comedy section. There's a ton of movies to go over today here, so I'm just going to try to go as quickly as possible through these movies, so that way the video is hopefully not as long. But again, this is going to be part 2 of 3 of my entire movie collection. Friday I will have the next video uploaded, so I decided to do it every other day. So I'm going to do Monday, Wednesday, and then we're going to do Friday, which I'll upload the next video. So we'll go ahead again with the comedy. Hopefully I organize everything well, so everything kind of makes sense. So we'll go and just power through these as quickly as we can. Again, I don't do alphabetical order, I just do it by genre, or what I feel fits into the genre. So kind of how I organize movies here. So, alright, we're going to get started here. So first up on the list is Jumanji, Welcome to the Jungle. Jumanji, The Next Level. I actually really enjoy both those movies quite a bit. I think they're a lot of fun. I think they're just really fun movies. Napoleon Dynamite. The Benchwarmers. Not a very good movie, but it's definitely a guilty pleasure. I think it's hilarious. It just cracks me up every time. Blades of Glory. Again, another movie that is just so over the top. It's just hilarious. Absolutely love this movie. I love like stupid, over-the-top comedies. I need to get a couple more for my collection, like Hot Rod and those types of things. But those movies are so funny to me. They're just hilarious. Superbad, one of the best comedies ever. Game Night, really underrated movie actually. A lot of people didn't talk about this movie when it came out, but it actually is a really fun concept, and it's really, really funny. So if you haven't seen Game Night, check it out. You won't be disappointed. It is a lot of fun. Alright, so now we got a 3-pack here. So we have Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure, Bill and Ted's Bogus Journey, and Bill and Ted Face the Music. I love all 3 of these movies. They're just classics. They're a lot of fun. And of course, my man Keanu Reeves is always great. Gotta love Keanu Reeves. The Wicker Man. This movie should be considered a horror thriller. This is the one with Nicolas Cage. I actually bought it for 2 reasons. 1, I wanted my sister to see it to show her how bad it is. And 2, I got it for like $5 on Amazon. This movie is Without question, it is so funny. It's one of the best bad movies I've ever seen. That's why I put it in comedy. That it should be in horror, but it's in comedy because it's just that hilarious. So check it out if you haven't seen it. You will get a kick out of this movie. Unfortunately, for the wrong reasons. Next, we have Zombieland Classic. Zombieland Double Tap. Jackass Presents Bad Grandpa. Super, super over the top movie. This movie is hilarious. I like how they combined like an actual movie with the pranks that they do. I just think it's really funny. Jexy, it's a guilty pleasure movie. It's not great by any means, but it is still just the concept of it is just really funny. If you're into like lowbrow humor, you're gonna love this movie. Like, don't expect anything great, but it is definitely very funny. The Hangover trilogy, Hangover 1, Hangover Part 2, Hangover Part 3. I really like the first movie. I think it's super clever, super hilarious. The second one is essentially the same film, but worse, but it's not. It's funny at some parts. And the third one is just bad. I don't really consider it a comedy. I consider it more of like a weird thriller. So the first movie's great, the second one's okay, the third one is just bad. But I'll get all of them on sale. So, Hangover trilogy. Again, as I mentioned in my other video, I'm very purist when it comes to this type of stuff. So, Tropic Thunder, one of my favorite comedies of all time. Robert Downey Jr. gives a wonderful performance. He plays a better black guy than I do, so just keep that in mind. Movie's great. Keanu with Keegan-Michael Key and Jordan Peele. This movie, again, is just so silly that you're just like, man, you can't help just but laugh. Both of them are hilarious in the movie. The concept's hilarious, and the cat's really cute. Get Hard with Kevin Hart and Will Ferrell. This one is actually a gift from my friend. This movie was okay. Wasn't my favorite comedy of theirs. I usually find both of them pretty funny in the movie, but this one was kind of hit or miss with the comedy. They had some few moments where I did laugh out loud, but definitely not my favorite comedy. Team America, World Police. You guys made South Park. I love this movie. It's hilarious. Due Date from the same guys who did The Hangover. I actually really like this movie. It's a fun road trip movie. Robert Downey Jr. is so rude in this movie, and I freaking love that. It just cracks me up. The Night Before. It's weird. I got the Spanish version, which is weird. I think it still plays the English version, but yeah, it's really weird. It's like Spanish at the bottom, or yeah, I think it's Spanish. But The Night Before, great Christmas comedy, super, super funny. Mike and Dave Need Wedding Dates. I love when Zac Efron can do a comedy and just have fun with himself. I thought he did great in this movie. I thought this movie was just hilarious. Just really, really funny, really enjoyable. The Hitman's Bodyguard. Oh, I still got some stuff on here. Whoops. Hitman's Bodyguard, really good movie. The sequel's coming out here next month, so keep an eye out for that. Looks like it's going to be hilarious. Hot Tub Time Machine. Another weirdly classic comedy. Super strange, but really funny. Hot Tub Time Machine 2. Definitely not as good as the first one, but it still had a few laughs. The Nice Guys, one of the best comedies I've seen in a while, to be honest. I actually was kind of late to the party when it came to this movie, but it's super, super good. Definitely check it out if you haven't seen it. This Is the End. This is one of my favorite comedies of all time. It just stars all of these guys that you just know and love. They play themselves in an apocalyptic world, and it's so hilarious. I watched it on my trip when I went to go see my friend, and we were just dying the entire time. I absolutely love this movie. Check it out if you haven't seen it. It's balls to the walls hilarious. Tag. This is based on a true story, which me and my friends, we talked about it. I was like, man, we could probably do something like this. But yeah, they just literally play a game of tag. It's just so fun. Like, this is I mean, it's a real thing. These guys in real life must be the coolest. It's so good. Ted 1 and 2. I love the first Ted. I think it's hilarious. Ted 2 is very funny, but the first one, I think the story is better, and story is always going to win it for me. So I prefer Ted 1, but Ted 2 is still as hilarious as the first one. And then my last comedy that I have here is A Million Ways to Die in the West. I've seen it a few times. It definitely has a few laughs in it, but definitely not as funny as I thought it was going to be. I do prefer the Ted movies, and hopefully Seth MacFarlane's next movie can definitely net a win, because this one was kind of hit or miss. Alright, so those were all the comedies that I had, so we're going to now check out all of the action movies that I have, so we'll go and get into that. Alright, so the next category is going to be my action movies. I have a ton of those movies, so I'm just going to quickly go through these. I may talk about a few of them, but we're going to go through this as quickly as we can to kind of show them off here. So we'll go and get that started. I got to be careful. I have a huge list. See how tall my hand is? That's where the movies are. It's crazy. So got to be really careful it doesn't fall. Alright, so we have the Men in Black trilogy, Men in Black 1, 2, and 3. Let's see how careful I'm trying to be because I don't want them to fall. Men in Black International. Hardcore Henry. Overlord. Power Rangers. Not bad, actually, to be honest. Baby Driver. Tomb Raider. Y'all remember that Tomb Raider movie that came out that nobody talked about? Well, I remember it. Not bad. Probably one of the better video game movies, even though it's still not that good. Bumblebee, the only Transformers movie that I can tolerate. Mad Max Fury Road. Kingsman: The Secret Service. Edge of Tomorrow. The Hunger Games series, so it's Hunger Games, Catching Fire, Mockingjay Part 1, and Mockingjay Part 2. Man, I love Catching Fire. It's one of the best movies ever. So good. The 2014 Godzilla. Kong Skull Island. Godzilla King of the Monsters. And hopefully Godzilla vs. King Kong will come out on Blu-ray and DVD soon, so I can buy it and add to my collection, because I love that movie. It's actually pretty good. Alright, so now we have the Bourne movies. Get this pulled up here. It's kind of a cool, it looks like a book. It's really nice. So you have the Bourne Identity, the Bourne Supremacy, the Bourne Ultimatum, which is probably the best one, the Bourne Legacy, and Jason Bourne. So it's kind of cool and has like a bonus disc and all that stuff. So really cool. I got this pretty cheap actually on Amazon for like 20 bucks for all the movies. So can't complain there. Not bad. Alright, so now we have the Jurassic, well it says Jurassic World, but this is like all the Jurassic Park movies. So it's Jurassic Park, Lost World, Jurassic Park 3, Jurassic World, and then Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom. Did not like Fallen Kingdom. I love the original. Yeah, pretty good movies. Star Trek, it's the newer Star Trek movie. So it's Star Trek, Into Darkness, and then Beyond. I actually really enjoy these movies. These are the only Star Trek movies that I've seen. Just because I didn't grow up with Star Trek or anything, so but I do like the new ones. They were pretty good. Alright, so we got Mission Impossible. We got all 6 of the movies right here. So I can open up, see if it has anything inside, to be honest. I don't think it does. Yeah, it doesn't have anything inside here. So it is Mission Impossible 1, 2, 3, Ghost Protocol, Rogue Nation, and Fallout. And then the 7th movie actually just got delayed till next year, which is a real bummer, because this is one of my favorite action franchises ever. They're super fun to watch. Alright, so we got John Wick. John Wick Chapter 2, and John Wick Chapter 3 Parabellum. Cannot wait for John Wick 4 and 5, whatever it may be. We're doing a lot of John Wick spinoffs, to be honest, so this one probably could have gone to the superhero category. I should have put it in yesterday, so my mistake on that. So these are the original Spider-Man movies with Tobey Maguire. We got Spider-Man 1, 2, and 3. Spider-Man 2 is a great movie, Spider-Man 3 is terrible, and the first one is just laughably hilarious. It's unintentionally hilarious. All 3 of them are. But you can't help but love these movies. You can't help it. Alright, so the next one is the Amazing Spider-Man collection. So it's Amazing Spider-Man 1 and Amazing Spider-Man 2. I actually don't like either one of these movies, so I shouldn't have bought this. So I will say I am a hypocrite. But I am excited to see if Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield show up in No Way Home that's coming out in December. That's going to be awesome if they do that. So many rumors about that. It's crazy. Alright, so now we have the Harry Potter movies. We have Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone, Chamber of Secrets, Prisoner of Azkaban, Goblet of Fire, Order of the Phoenix, The Half-Blood Prince, Deathly Hallows Part 1, and Deathly Hallows Part 2. So we got all the movies in here. I got this on sale as well. I get really lucky when I find these movies when they go on sale. I get really lucky about that. Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them. And then Fantastic Beasts, The Crimes of Grindelwald, or whatever the heck his name is. I wasn't a huge fan of this movie, but I still got it anyway. It's because I have the other movies, and I just had to get them. Alright, so now we have the Daniel Craig James Bond edition here. So we have Casino Royale, Quantum of Solace, Skyfall, and Spectre. And then hopefully No Time to Die will be coming out here eventually, so we can see that movie as well. That'll be the last one with Daniel Craig. So I'm looking forward to it. I do enjoy most of these movies. Alright, so now we have the Planet of the Apes trilogy. So we have Rise of the Planet of the Apes, Dawn of the Planet of the Apes, and War for the Planet of the Apes. I actually just saw these recently, and they were really good. Dawn's actually probably my favorite, Dawn of the Planet of the Apes. I just really like that film. But all of them are really good. Really, really good movies. Never watched the show or anything, but still good movies. Alright, Bad Boys 1 and Bad Boys 2. Bad Boys for Life. Indiana Jones: The Complete Adventure, which is a false title because the 5th one is coming out here hopefully in the next couple of years or so. We got all the movies in here. Again, it looks like a book, so it's really, really cool. So you just open inside. It's got all the pictures of Harrison Ford. You got Raiders of the Lost Ark, Temple of Doom. Super good movies, man. All of these. Last Crusade. Then you got Kingdom of the Crystal Skull, which is not a great movie, but I wanted to collect them all. But they got a bunch of bonus stuff. So yeah, it's a really cool pickup. I was really happy to find this and be able to add to my collection. Super good stuff. Alright, so now we have Hercules with Dwayne The Rock Johnson. Honestly, kind of a guilty pleasure of mine. It's, I don't know, I kind of enjoy it. I like The Rock, so I'm like, you know, it's cool. Alright, so now the pile's down to a decent size here. So now we have the Terminator movies. So this is Terminator, Terminator 2 Judgment Day, Terminator 3 Rise of the Machine, and Terminator Salvation with Christian Bale. Y'all remember that movie? I haven't seen that movie in years. I remember it not being so hot. But yeah, this one's pretty cool too, actually. If you open it up inside, it's got all the stuff in here. It shows where all the movies are, and you can kind of get it in frame here. So yeah, it's pretty cool actually. I'm like, dang, you know what? Good pickup. I was proud that I picked this one up. So those are the 4 Terminator movies. Then we have Terminator Genesis, which is not a good movie, but again, I like to have a full, complete collection. Not my favorite, but it is what it is. And then we have Terminator Dark Fate. This movie made a really weird choice in the beginning of the movie. I won't spoil it or anything. Definitely better than Genesis, but still kind of if you know what I'm saying. It's not bad, but, you know, it was kind of weird. It's just kind of a weird film. Okay, so we have the Matrix movies. So we have Matrix, Matrix Reloaded, Matrix Revolution, and the Animatrix. I haven't seen the Animatrix, but the 4th Matrix is coming out this year. I am looking forward to that. So we got Blade Runner, The Final Cut. Blade Runner 2049. This movie did not do very well at the box office, but it is a very, very, very good film. If you haven't seen it, you can watch this one cold without watching the other one. So definitely would recommend Blade Runner 2049. If you haven't seen it, super good movie. The Man from U.N.C.L.E. Watchmen Director's Cut. Actually, hold on a sec. Look at that. The movie was kind of loose. Gotta take care of these better. Haven't seen the movie in a while, but good movie. Good movie. Alright, and the last one is Dawn of the Dead. So those are all my action movies. So this segment was like almost 10 minutes. So that's why I'm trying to go through those as fast as I can. So for my horror and thriller movies, the pile is so big, I had to split it up into two. So I'm going to do the same thing here. I'm going to just show you one pile. I'm going to cut it, and then I'm going to show you the other pile. And I kind of just mix the thriller and horror together because I kind of just consider them the same thing. I just love that aspect of it. So again, the next section is going to be horror and thriller, and we'll go ahead and go from there. Alright, so the next thing that I'm going to show you guys here is going to be my horror/thriller collection. As I said, I'm going to show you like one stack, and then I'll show you the other stack, because with the action movies, they almost fell over, so I had to be really careful, because I love horror and thriller. It's like my favorite genre of film, and hopefully if you guys are into that here, you'll find something that you're interested in that you haven't heard of before. I like collecting kind of weird, obscure movies sometimes, so maybe you'll see something that you want to check out. If you do, let me know how you like it. I'd love to know that. So we'll go and get started here again. Pretty big list of movies, so we're just going to kind of power through these and just go from there. So this will be the first stack. So the first one is The Twilight Zone with Jordan Peele. I watched it a lot when I was laid off from work, and I really enjoyed it. It's actually on Paramount Plus, which I have now, but I like having physical copies of stuff. So first season of that. Twilight Zone Season 2 with Jordan Peele, which is also on Paramount Plus. So if you have that, you can watch it that way. But I like having physical copies of stuff, as I just said. So 10 Cloverfield Lane. Sinister. This movie scared me a lot when I was younger. Not too bad now, but it did scare me a lot when I was like in 2012 when it came out. The Witch, one of my friend Miguel, it's like his favorite horror movie of all time, and it's a really good film. Definitely takes a few watches to understand what's going on, but if you really get into it, it really is a very disturbing piece of work. Super, super good movie. Unfriended, a guilty pleasure movie. Like, it's not great, but I still enjoy it for what it is. I even like the second one, Dark Web, which I don't own, which I would like to, but these movies are just kind of fun. They're really cheesy, but they're not bad. The Shining, of course, just a classic horror movie. Doctor Sleep, this movie did not do that well at the box office, but I thought it was a really good film. I really enjoyed it. Ewan McGregor did such a good job. I love the movie. It was super good. Alright, so we have Happy Death Day. Happy Death Day to You. Honestly, the movies are kind of fun. I think they are doing a third one, so I'm on board for it. The Invisible Man, one of the last movies I saw in theaters before everything shut down due to COVID. It was a great thriller. There's a movie that could have either been really good or really bad. I'm really happy that it was really good. The Lighthouse, same director as The Witch, actually, so you can watch both movies. This movie is a trip, man. A lot of weird stuff in it, lots and lots of crazy things happen in this movie. Shot in black and white. The aspect ratio is a little bit different, but man, I love this movie. It was such a good, like, interesting film, and it's just a really good watch. So if you're into that type of movie, definitely check it out. You won't be disappointed. The Babadook, this movie terrified me because it kind of deals with, like, getting over your past and, like, stop holding on to stuff. But my sister, who loves horror too, she didn't find it very scary, but I found this movie terrifying for some reason. I don't know why. It scares me watching this movie. I don't know why. Maybe because I got to deal with a lot of crap, but Babadook, it's a really good film. The Gift, a great little horror thrill with Jason Bateman. Super cool plot twist at the end if you just stick with it the entire time. It's just a really good film. Super good film. Parasite, won movie of the year. Honestly, this movie's great. A lot of people that I've talked to do not like this movie. I think it's a genius piece of art. I think it's a really smart film. I think it's just a great film. It really is. It really is a good movie. A lot of people may have seen it, but I really enjoyed the film. Knives Out. I didn't really know where to put Knives Out, so I kind of just put it in my thriller category, but you know, I talked about the other day in the other video how much I didn't like The Last Jedi because Rian Johnson did it, but Rian Johnson did Knives Out and he killed it with this movie. It is one of the best whodunit movies. Like, it's so good. I'm sure a lot of people saw it, but if you haven't, really check it out. It's really, really a good movie. Uncut Gems with Adam Sandler. I cannot watch another Adam Sandler movie again because of his performance in this movie. He did so good in this movie that when I watch any other movie that he does, I just don't like it because he killed it in this movie. This is one of the such a good movie. Not the best movie ever, but it gives you so much anxiety throughout the film. It's insane. Uncut Gems, check it out. You won't be disappointed. I hope. I don't know. You might, but all right. Antebellum. Got a chance to watch this finally, and honestly, it got really bad reviews, but I honestly thought it was okay. I thought it was pretty good. Interesting twist at the end, and yeah, I really enjoyed it. Sorry, I had to pop my neck there. Got Upgrade from the same guy who actually did Invisible Man. This is his first film. Super fun movie, really enjoyable. It's just to the point, it's quick, it's a simple revenge plot, but it's super clever. Really good film. Alright, so this one is The Wind, Demon of the Prairie. This is a really, really interesting film. This is a movie that I was talking about. If you haven't heard of it, maybe check this one out if you're a fan of thriller and horror. This one isn't, I won't give any spoilers. I don't do that when I do these types of stuff, but check it out if you're into this kind of movie. You may like it. It's definitely different, but you may like it. Alright, Good Time with Robert Pattinson. This movie's insane. It's from the same guys that did Uncut Gems. It's actually the movie they did before Uncut Gems, and it is a trip. Robert Pattinson gives such a great performance in this movie. It's so good. Again, no spoilers or anything, but this is a great film. Check it out if you haven't seen it. You really won't be disappointed. It's some of Robert Pattinson's best work. Don't Let Go. It is a time-traveling thriller. It was okay. It had really cool elements to it, but it didn't really tie a lot of things together like it wanted it to. But overall, it was a fun little thriller. We got the Saw movies, which, you know, I don't have to go over the Saw movies, but here they are. The new one looks pretty good with Chris Rock and Samuel Jackson, so I'll definitely be checking that one out. The Accountant with Ben Affleck. I consider this movie a thriller, so just throw it in there. Sicario, I guess this would be more of like an action movies, but I put it in, it's kind of in a way, but since I did action and thriller, I just forgot to move this one, so Sicario. And then the last one out of this pile, I'm going to the next one, is going to be Maggie with Arnold Schwarzenegger. Super good film, really small budget film, but if you like something like The Last of Us, you'll definitely enjoy this film. Okay, so that was my first pile, so we got one more, and then the next video will be uploaded on Friday, so we'll go and get to the next pile. Alright, so we got one more stack of horror and thriller, and then as I said, keep an eye out for part 3, that'll be dropping on Friday. So we'll go and get through this stack, and we'll go from there. So the next one here is Ma, interesting movie. Get Out, one of my favorite movies of all time. I mean, it's only been out for like 4 years, but this movie has impacted me as a wannabe filmmaker and a fan of horror. I just thought Jordan Peele killed it with this movie. A wonderful, wonderful experience. If you like horror and thriller. Us, Jordan Peele's second movie. Excuse me. Oh man, what the heck? Sorry about that. Us, honestly, I really enjoyed the film. A lot of people didn't like it because with Get Out, it was more of like a beginning, middle, and end. This one kind of leaves it open for interpretation, which some people don't like. But I really enjoy Us. I thought Us was a really good film. Definitely had some very anxiety-filled moments in this movie. And I cannot wait for Jordan Peele's his third movie, which is Keke Palmer, and that movie coming out. Don't know anything about it, but I'm excited. The original Halloween. Halloween 2018. Cannot wait for Halloween Kills this year. Super excited about that. And Halloween Ends next year. Cannot wait for those movies. Friday the 13th, the director's cut or the killer cut. It's the 2009 version. You know what? Honestly, I didn't hate that movie, but I need to get the other ones too. Searching. Ready or Not. This one's kind of a comedy too, but I consider it more of like a thriller in some aspects. But really fun movie. If you haven't seen it, definitely check it out. It's definitely suspenseful, but it is very funny. Very, very good movie. Good movie. You're looking to get into like the horror thriller aspect, but also want to have fun with the movie. So I definitely check out Ready or Not. We got Unbreakable, Split, and Glass. Then we have It Chapter 1, It Chapter 2, a little too long for my taste, and it was okay. Again, just it's super long. Didn't need to be that long. Hereditary, I absolutely loved this movie. I thought it was super creepy, super good movie. If you're looking to be, maybe not scared, but feel really anxious, this movie will do it for you, man. Midsommar, the scariest movie that has ever been shot in daylight. That's all that I'll say. Movie is insane. Insane. So there's another really small movie a lot of people may not know about here. It's called Green Room. It's a really good movie. It's got Patrick Stewart in it. It was actually shot in Portland, Oregon, and I live in Washington State, like on the border of Portland, so I go there often. So I'm like, oh, that's pretty cool. That's actually pretty awesome. This movie is about music, and I don't want to say too much more, except that you should definitely watch it and check it out. It really is a very stressful watch, but it's a lot of fun. Traffic, another small movie a lot of people may not have heard of. Didn't get very good reviews upon release, but I actually really enjoyed the movie. Definitely predictable where the film was going, but the way it got there, I was fairly entertained by it. Not the perfect movie, but still a decent time. A Simple Favor, this movie actually was a trip. I actually really enjoyed this movie. I loved the main leads. They're both great. Yeah, I actually really enjoyed this movie a lot. It was super good. Bad Times at the El Royale. Gone Girl. Man, this is a big case. What the heck? Oh, look. Man, this is like... Whoa. Actually, to be honest, I have seen this movie, but I've watched it like on TV and I saw it in theaters. I had no idea this is all in here. What is going on? Look at all this. Okay, this is like the movie, and then there. Oh, what the heck? There's a. Okay, if you've seen the movie, you know what this is about. This book. Okay, I did not know that this was in here. Well, again, I promise you with all my heart, I've seen this movie because I really like this movie, but I bought it and I haven't watched it on Blu-ray, and all this stuff is in it. I had no idea. That's actually pretty cool. So, okay. Well, that was very exciting. Got to experience that with me. That's very, very exciting. The Belko Experiment, man, going to work after watching this movie was terrible, to say the least. Imagine this actually happening. I thought this movie was a lot of fun. I thought it was really enjoyable. Wind River, starring two Avengers, Hawkeye and Scarlet Witch. It's not really them, but, you know, still, it's a good movie. High Life with Robert Pattinson. Again, it's a space thriller. Check it out. It's a really small budget. Robert Pattinson's been getting a lot of roles with like the smaller indie movies, and I know a lot of people give him crap for Twilight, but he killed it in this movie. He kills it in all of the smaller movies, so that's why I'm excited to see what he'll do again with Batman. I'm really excited about that. But check out High Life. It's pretty good. Don't Breathe. Cannot wait for the sequel for this movie. This movie will give you so much anxiety. It's insane how much anxiety this movie will give you. So if that freaks you out, don't watch it, but this is a great watch. Super fun to watch with a lot of people. Cabin in the Woods. This movie is so clever. It's so interesting to watch. It's hard to explain if you haven't seen it, but you should definitely watch it. It's very, very interesting. We've got a couple more here. We got Slight, another movie that a lot of people may not have heard of. It's kind of like involved. It's like a thriller / magic type movie, but it does magic in a really cool way. It's not the way you think, and so definitely check out the movie Slight if you haven't seen it. It's a really fun watch. And the last one that I have here, It Comes at Night. A lot of people did not like this movie because, again, just like with Us, it kind of leaves it open for interpretation, and a lot of people don't like that. They want A, B, and C plot, but sometimes it's kind of cool just to speculate what could have happened or what, you know, those types of things going on. Don't want to spoil it, as I said. I don't have to spoil anything. What I said is not a spoiler, but check it out. If you like to have stuff open for interpretation and talk about it with friends, definitely check it out. If you're not a fan, if you want the movie to end up and just go from point A to point B, point C, just end up everything, definitely just do that. But it's not for everybody. Alright, so that was my list of movies that I was going to show you guys here today. Again, keep an eye out for Friday. I will have the last video uploaded for all my movies here. If you like what you see, feel free to hit subscribe and the like button. It does go a long way. But again, this has been Chandler Burton Entertainment, and until next time, I hope you all take care. What's going on, guys? Welcome back to Chandler Burton Entertainment. And so today it's going to be the part 3 of 3 of my movie collection here. I also forgot that I had some other movies in the other category. See that right here? So we'll actually start off by doing that. So I apologize that I messed up my my piles a little bit here. So we're gonna start with these here. We're gonna do some more other movies that I couldn't find a category for. And then at the bottom here, today we're going to look at the animated and the family movies here. So again, if you like what you see, feel free to hit the like button and subscribe. That does go a long way. As you can tell, the movies down here, it's not as big as a list as last time, so we're just at the very, very end of showing off all the movies. But again, we'll go ahead and get that started with my other movies, and we will go from there. Alright, so as I mentioned in the beginning here, is that I actually have a couple more movies that I have in my other category, and so I forgot to add those in there, so I do apologize about that. So we're going to start with those movies here. It's a pretty short list, and then we're going to move on to family movies. So we'll go ahead and get started from there. Again, there's not too many movies to go over on this one, so this video should be a little bit shorter than the other ones, although I do appreciate everybody watching the videos and hopefully having a good time looking at my movie collection. So it's been fun for me to make these, so I really appreciate you guys checking it out. Okay, so the first one we're going to do here is mid-90s. This is written and directed by Jonah Hill. I actually have not seen this movie yet. I actually bought it because I heard it was really, really good. So I do need to watch this movie, but I have not seen this yet. If you have seen it, let me know down below how you liked it. It looks like it's a really interesting film, so that's why I got it. So I'm going to be watching this here very soon. I'm really looking forward to it. Alright, next is Top Gun. So I've seen Top Gun once, and I'm actually going to watch it again with my mom because we're going to go see the new Top Gun here. I think it got moved. I think it's the summer now. It was released in, I don't know when. It's coming out sometime this year, I think. I could be wrong. But Top Gun, classic, can't go wrong. First Cow. I actually haven't seen this movie either. I bought it because, again, it got really good reviews. I heard it's a really good movie. I just have been so busy. I just have not had a chance to sit down and actually watch the film. So this one, in mid-90s, I really need to sit down and watch. But I got this for like 15 bucks on Blu-ray, so I am excited to check it out. Lady Bird. This came out the same year as Get Out, and so for me, I was so obsessed with Get Out that I heard about this movie, but I never actually saw it. And I eventually got around to seeing it, and I gotta say, it is one of the most ingenious, wonderfully funny movies that you'll ever see. It is so good. Again, as I mentioned before, I'm not going to give any spoilers for any of the films that I talk about, but seriously, give Lady Bird a shot. You may be pleasantly surprised like I was. I was a little concerned when I saw the trailer. I was like, I don't know how I feel about this. But honestly, I really love this movie. It's a great watch. Alright, we got two more in the other category, then we'll move on to family films. So we have The Way Back with Ben Affleck. This is actually it was Onward, Invisible Man, and this movie were the last movies I saw before theaters shut down. This is actually the last movie I did see when we got the news that everything was shutting down due to COVID. And it was a good way to end out because I really like this movie. It's actually a really powerful film because Ben Affleck has struggled with alcoholism in his own life, and so it's really portrayed well in this film, and it's a basketball film. If you're looking for a basketball movie, it's not really about that. It's more about Ben Affleck's character and overcoming his trial and addiction. So the basketball is kind of like a subplot in the movie, but honestly, it's a really good performance by Ben Affleck. It's a really, really good film. Just don't expect a lot of basketball. That's what you're looking for. You may not get what you want for going in for that, but really good film. All right, and the last one here is Jojo Rabbit. Again, I was very late to the game with this movie. Taika Waititi is such a brilliant, funny, and creative director. He also plays a really good Hitler, which really sounded weird coming out of my mouth. But he's really good at what he does, man. This is a great film. It's funny when it needs to be. It's serious when it needs to be. It's also really emotional, like really, really emotional. I cannot wait to see what Taika Waititi does with Thor: Love and Thunder. I think that's his next movie, and I think he's going to be doing a Star Wars movie, which I really think will be good for him because he directed the last episode of The Mandalorian in season 1, and that was one of my favorite episodes of the entire show. So those are my other movies. So I had a couple left over from the other ones from my first video. So thank you for letting me go over those here. So next we're going to look at the family films. And then after that, we're going to get to the animated films. And that'll be every single movie that I own. So let's go and get into it. Alright, so now we're going to take a look at my family-friendly films. These are the films that you can watch with your family and that the whole family can enjoy. A lot of them are in my animated section as well, but these are the ones that I kind of categorized here. So I do movies really weird. I don't know why, but we'll go over these movies. Again, it's a pretty short list, pretty short stack of movies here. So, and then we'll do the animated ones. We'll be good to go. So first up on our list here is Sonic the Hedgehog. Again, everyone knows what happened to this movie. It was scrapped for a while because Sonic looked horrendous. Then they fixed him, and let me tell you, man, I'm not joking when I say this is probably my favorite video game movie. And don't get me wrong, I know it's not great, but it's a lot of fun. And it's got a really cool ending action sequence. It's really good. I honestly was shocked of how well I liked this film. Like, really, really shocked. I was like, oh man, am I gonna like this? But I had a great job, and Jim Carrey was great. The movie was just fun. I had a good time with it, and honestly, I cannot wait for Sonic the Hedgehog 2. Really looking forward to it. Lion King, the live-action one. I do have the original Lion King. It is downstairs, but it's actually my dad's. But we do have it on Blu-ray, so I was like, I don't want to buy it if we already have a copy of it here. So I did buy this version. I wasn't a huge fan of this movie, but I bought it anyway, just because I'm weird, and I don't know why I spent my money on this, because this is probably one of my least favorite movies of 2019. But again, something about buying these live-action Disney movies I really enjoy. I'm actually building up collecting all the live-action ones, so we'll see how that goes. But so we had the live-action Lion King. It wasn't that great, but I still own it. Yay me. Peanut Butter Falcon, one of the best movies that I've seen in the past couple of years. Shia LaBeouf was great in it. I forgot the other kid's name. Because he was like let's look it up. His name's Zach, and his name's Zach in the movie as well, so I apologize about that. This movie was a lot of fun. It's a great movie for Shia LaBeouf to do. I know he's been a weird guy lately, so really, when he did this movie, I was so pleasantly surprised. And the name is going to turn people off. It's like, what? The Peanut Butter Falcon? What the heck does that mean? But you have to understand why it's called that. It explains it in the movie. And again, no spoilers here, but this movie really will touch your heart. It's a really feel-good movie that I think the whole family can enjoy. And I think there is a lesson here, is don't judge a book by its cover. I think it's a really good lesson in this film. It's also very funny and, again, very heartwarming. The Greatest Showman, I was not a fan of this movie at first, but then I eventually came around. It was like, okay, it's actually not as bad as I thought it was. My mom saw this movie like a billion times in theaters. I didn't go once because I just was not interested, so eventually I watched it, and I was like, you know what? It's not bad. I watched it a few more times. I ended up really enjoying the movie. The music's great. The story's really simple to follow. I don't know why it got such bad reviews. Like, it's a fun movie. It's not my favorite musical. I'm not even a huge musical guy, to be honest, because I love music, but not a huge fan of musicals. But this movie, I really enjoyed. I thought it was really good. And Hugh Jackman always is just such a joy to watch. I love that man. It's funny watching him do that and, like, Logan. You're just like, holy crap, this man can act. Alright, so we got Detective Pikachu. Again, this is probably my other favorite video game movie. It has Ryan Reynolds in it. This is a really fun... I like Sonic better, because I grew up more with Sonic. With Pokemon, I loved it when I was a kid, but I kind of grew out of it as I've got older. I still like it. I'm very casual when it comes to Pokemon, but not as much as I like Sonic. But I gotta say, man, this movie I think is better put together than Sonic. I just like Sonic a little bit better, but this movie's hilarious. It's actually very heartwarming, and if you're a video game fan or a Pokemon fan, I guarantee you've seen it. But honestly, this movie is really fun. I hope they do another Pokemon movie, maybe not like Detective Pikachu, but they could do something something else with Pokemon. I think that'd be really cool. And honestly, the Pokemon look really good in this movie. So, Detective Pikachu, good film. A Beautiful Day in the Neighborhood with Tom Hanks. This movie was absolutely amazing, completely touched my heart. Tom Hanks, of course, is great in everything that he does. This movie was really more about the reporter than Mr. Rogers, and I thought that was really, really cool how they tied everything together. It's a really emotional movie. This is the definition of a great family film. Like, it's very, very sweet. It has some very interesting, funny moments, but it really touched my heart. This is one of the best movies I saw of, I think it was 2019 is when it came out. Yeah, 2019. It really is. It's an incredible film. Super, super good movie. Christopher Robin, the live-action Winnie the Pooh. I'm a huge Winnie the Pooh fan. I always have been ever since I was a kid. I've seen every single animated movie. I've seen the TV show. I love Winnie the Pooh. I think it's just so funny. And this movie was great. I know a lot of people saying this is one of their least favorite live-action movies, but I got to be honest, man. I really enjoyed this film. I still thought it was heartwarming. I thought all the characters were great. The designs of the characters look a little dirty, but other than that, I really enjoyed the film. I thought it was really sweet, and I thought it was a lot of fun. Call of the Wild. Nothing too wild about it, but it will definitely warm your heart. I never read the book. I know this is a book I think a lot of people read in school, but I didn't read a lot of books in school, so maybe I just didn't read it. But I like the movie. The movie was really good. Some of the animation was kind of weird with the dogs, but honestly, Harrison Ford was great. The movie was just very heartwarming, and since I didn't read the book, I didn't know what was going to happen at the end or throughout the film, and so I definitely was taken by surprise with it. I really enjoyed the film. It's very, again, very heartwarming. A heartwarming family film. Alright, so next we got the live-action Aladdin. Again, we have the original Aladdin. It's just downstairs. But I actually really liked the live-action version of Aladdin. I know a lot of people weren't a fan of it because, again, I think a lot of people really like Will Smith as the genie. I thought it was great. He didn't copy what Robin Williams did. He kind of just did his own thing with it. So I thought that was really good. Really good film. I really like Aladdin. Alright, and then the last one, Space Jam. Now, this could be considered, I guess, an animated movie, but since it has elements of live action and animated, I was like, we'll just make it a family movie. This movie is completely nostalgic for me. I mean, this is one of the first movies I saw in theaters with my mom. It was this movie and Toy Story 1. So I have very fond memories of this movie. Space Jam's not the best movie ever. It sure is hilarious, I will say that. And to be honest, I am super stoked for Space Jam: A New Legacy. I am really excited for that film. I think it will be just as good, if not better, than Space Jam. So I'm really looking forward to that new movie. Okay, so those are my family-friendly films. Now we're going to get on to my animated films, and we will go from there. All right, this is it. The moment of truth. We have one more stack, and that'll be officially all the movies that I have. So we got quite a bit of animated movies here. I'm a big animation guy, always have been, so there's quite a bit. So we'll go ahead and just go through these here. I apologize that I've been commentating on most of the movies. I just get excited to talk about them because, you know, most people don't really care when I talk about movies, so this is kind of my way of, like, expressing my excitement for films and those types of things. So we'll go ahead and just go through the list here. I'll try to keep it brief. This video is going to be a little bit shorter than the other ones, guarantee it. So again, I appreciate you guys hanging out with me and going over all my movies. So we're going to get started. So first up on the list here is the original SpongeBob movie. Love SpongeBob. I've been a fan. Everything from 1999 all the way up to the first film, which is this, is comedy gold. It is some of the funniest TV ever. Definitely fell a bit after the next movie, which I'll show you, Sponge Out of Water, I thought was good. And I thought Sponge on the Run was pretty good too. So the movies are pretty good. The movies are pretty funny. So again, the second one, the SpongeBob movie, Sponge Out of Water. I definitely like the first one out of the three are definitely, the first one is the best. I actually really like Sponge Out of Water. When I first saw it, I was like, I'm not a big fan, but the more I watched it, the more I was like, you know what, this is going to be the closest that we get to that original SpongeBob humor, because some of the old writers and directors came back for this movie, and honestly, it's a fun time. A little bit deceiving from the trailer, if you know what I'm talking about, but honestly, I had a great time with this movie. Teen Titans Go to the movies. I'll say it. I'm a pretty big fan of Teen Titans Go. I think it's pretty funny, and the movie honestly was really funny as well. It makes fun of like classic superhero movies. This is pretty much essentially Deadpool but for kids, and I guess for families too. But honestly, this movie cracks me up. I think it's hilarious. Maybe because my sense of humor is like theirs, really lowbrow, and but I still found it funny. Teen Titans Go versus the Teen Titans. I actually really like this movie. You can actually watch it. It's on Hulu if you're interested in watching this here. It's actually a really fun movie, kind of watching how the original Teen Titans interact with the Teen Titans Go characters. It's actually a lot of fun. It's only like it's like a 77 minutes long. Really quick watch. It's a lot of fun. Check it out. Again, it's on Hulu if you have it. Lion King 1.5. This is one of my guilty pleasure movies. It's really short. Again, it's like, 76 minutes. It's really fast. But it tells Timon and Pumbaa's story from their side of things from the Lion King. The movie cracks me up. I love this movie. If you haven't seen it, check it out. It's a lot of fun. Storks. A lot of people don't agree with me, but I think this movie is absolutely hysterical. It reminds me of old classic Looney Tunes, like the humor in it. And the story's a little bit weird for it, but honestly, I love this movie. It's super funny. Zootopia, probably my favorite animated Disney movie. Not Pixar, but my favorite animated Disney film. This movie has such a powerful message about, like, racism and loving one another and not judging a book by its cover. This movie is a lot more than what you think it is, and it's super entertaining. It's honestly, to me, not comparing it to Pixar, I think it's Disney's best achievement when it comes to an animated film. I think it's phenomenal, everything about it. To me, it's a 10 out of 10. It's one of the best movies ever made. So go Disney. Can't wait for the second one. The second one is happening, supposedly this year. So hopefully in November. I think that's the release date. So Big Hero 6, another great superhero movie. Again, I was super late to the party on this movie. But look at little Baymax. He's so cute. This movie's great. If you like superhero movies, it's just a lot of fun. It's just a great movie. Sausage Party. Now, this movie was going to go in my comedies, but I figured since it's animated, I'll just leave it in there. This movie is raunchy. I actually worked at the theater when this movie came out, and I remember actually, a little quick story. I worked at the box office where you buy the tickets, and I remember this is no joke. I had a family of 4 come up to me. It was the mom and dad and the 2 kids, and they asked for 2 tickets for Sausage Party. No, 4 tickets, I'm sorry. And I told them that I can't let your kids in because it's rated R. They thought it was the new Disney movie that was coming. I was like, no, I saw it the other night. This is the hardest rated R movie I've seen in a while. And they got mad at me and wanted to speak to the manager, and the manager told them the same thing. So, it's funny, they had to put the rated R, like, on the cover just to make sure people know. But the name alone, Sausage Party, you probably know, like, what you're kind of getting into. But this movie is hysterical. It is... Man, if you know what I'm talking about, especially at the end, my goodness, absolutely hilarious of a film. All right, here, so now we got probably my favorite animated films of all time. So we got the first Toy Story, of course, a classic. We got Toy Story 2, which is again another classic. This movie, I didn't know this was supposed to go straight to DVD when it first came out. It came out like 1999, and it was supposed to go right out to video, but they put it in theaters. And there's also a huge history about this movie. Like, they almost deleted the footage, and they almost lost all the... it's crazy. Look it up. Look up, like, Toy Story 2, like, Pixar's mistake, like, losing the memory of this film or losing the footage. It's crazy to watch. I couldn't imagine how stressful that would have been. Toy Story 3, not only one of my favorite movies of all time, but this is my favorite Pixar movie of all time. And to me, again, not Disney, because Disney Animation Studios is different than Pixar. To me, this is Pixar's greatest achievement, right here. Toy Story 3. It is one of the best movies ever. Again, just my personal opinion, of course. I have a whole podcast if you want to listen to it. I'll try to put a link up here or whatever. But super, super good. Love Toy Story 3. Toy Story 4, I think it's just as good as the other 3. I know a lot of people are like, this movie's not necessary. But if you think about it, Andy's arc was what closed out the first 3, but we didn't really get the end of Woody. And Woody's like the main character. And man, I know a lot of people were wanting more out of the end, but for me, I liked it pretty good. I did cry at this movie. So, Toy Story 4, I love this movie. I think it's great. All 4 of them, to me, are masterpieces. I love Toy Story 4. All of them are like 10 out of 10s. Okay, so we have the original Lego Movie. Hilarious, hilarious film. Kind of a surprise, too. I thought it was going to suck. Lego Batman, some of the most Some has the most quotable lines in this movie ever. It's so good. This is like one of the best Batman movies ever. I'm not joking. Super good film. The Lego Ninjago movie. This has nothing to do with the TV show. It's kind of its own thing. So that's why I was like, thank goodness I can watch it and not understand the show. This one is definitely the weakest out of the four. But it's still, it's got some moments that you're like, dude, that's hilarious. And the action's always really cool too. So good movie. I still like it. My least favorite of the four. And then the Lego movie, the title's a tongue twister. The Lego Movie 2, the second part. There we go. Got that right. Okay. This is my... So, honestly, if I have to rank them, it would be Lego Batman, the Lego Movie, the Lego 2 movie, and then Lego Ninjago. This one was funny. Not as good as the original, but it was still very good. Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse. One of the best movies. Totally took me by surprise. I was late to the party on this, too. I didn't even see it in theaters. But man, cannot wait for the second one. This movie is mind-blowingly good. Like 11 out of 10. It's that good of a film. Love the way it looks like a comic book. I think it's great. South Park, bigger, longer, and uncut. And yes, that is what she said big time. The South Park movie, of course, South Park, if you're a fan and love their humor, you're going to find this movie hilarious. I think South Park is one of the funniest shows in existence. I just think it's great. Wasn't a big fan. The vaccine special was okay, but I love the pandemic special. That one was hilarious. Jonah, a VeggieTales movie. I love VeggieTales. I actually bought this, not just because I saw it. I was like, I know what? I want to own this movie. This movie cracks me up. It's just funny. I just like VeggieTales. It's cool. No shame in owning that movie. Justice League vs. the Teen Titans, another cool animated movie I got from my friend. Very small. It's a really short movie. It's only like 78 minutes, so again, it's a really quick watch. I don't know if it's on any streaming platforms, but this movie is a lot of fun. DC always gets it right in the animated department, but they really struggle with the live action stuff, except Zack Snyder's Justice League, which I thought was wonderful, and a couple other movies as well. But yeah, Zack Snyder's Justice League was great, but always in animated form. They're always really good. The Simpsons movie, which you can watch on Disney Plus, hilarious film. The Incredibles, probably it's my third favorite Pixar movie. For me, my top three are Toy Story 3, Finding Nemo, and then The Incredibles. This movie is great. I watched it recently, and it's like, man, this movie is still good, dude. It's so good. And then last movie, Captain Underpants, the first epic movie. Sorry, I had to make sure I got that right. I loved the books as a kid, and I loved this movie. I thought it was hilarious. This movie's great. So definitely check it out. I think most people saw it. I think it did pretty well. So, all right, my friends. Well, that is all of my movies. I really appreciate you checking out all three of the videos here. I'll make sure to leave links below to my other two videos if you haven't seen them. But again, if you like what you see, if you want to hit the subscribe button and the like button, that does go a long way. Again, this has been Chandler Burton Entertainment, but until next time, I hope you all take care.